on the outside. It's going to be a photo finish. They touch coming down through the triangle at the line. Who wins it? I believe
That magical moment 8 years ago here at Michigan signified the start of Dale Jarrett's successful Winston Cup career and the beginning of a dream that he too, like his famous father, would one day be known as NASCAR's Winston Cup champion. Early on, his quest for the Cup would prove to be far from easy. It would take time, teamwork, talent, and total commitment to turn heads and laps faster than the competition. Finally, this year, the wins and almost weekly shower of points have him poised to capture the Cup. Ironically today, the Jarrett juggernaut can roll one step closer to fulfilling that dream, right here where it all began just 8 years ago. Since that day in August of 1991, Dale Jarrett has added 2 more Michigan wins to his resume, including a dominating performance here 2 months ago in which he led 150 of 200 circuits and lapped all but 4 other cars in the field. Today he returns the Michigan arm with the same car that crushed them in June and blitzed them at the Brickyard 400 2 weeks ago. With a comfortable 300-point lead and just 13 races remaining, he doesn't really need to win if he can just do what he did at Watkins Glen. Stay clean, out of trouble, and log a top 5 finish. It'll probably be his championship to lose. However, one miscue or mechanical failure could suddenly stir a feeding frenzy among those who remain in the title chase.
Racing is often a puzzling portrait of heroic faces and hectic races winding up in noble places. The seamless circle of practice, performance, and pursuit has 4-time Michigan winner Mark Martin second in points. Bobby Labonte has 2 wins at this track, but inconsistency makes you wonder what's ahead. Brilliant success or bitter struggle. Jeff Burton has 4 straight top 10 finishes at Michigan, but needs another win to recharge his batteries. Jeff Gordon has more wins than anyone. That's nothing new. But has he lost his grip on the sport's top prize, and is Dale Jarrett ready to tighten his grasp on the trophy? Gordon won last week, leaving fans wondering, can Wonder Boy close the gap in a single bound? Well, there are no tall buildings to leap, but there are some mountains to move. For example, the question now, who's the biggest threat to Jarrett's big lead? Well, Martin, Labonte, and Burton are the closest contenders, but they've never been to the mountaintop. Jeff Gordon has. The reigning king of the hill is 482 behind, but has a lot of ground ahead. If you think that sounds like hype, take a look at history. Gordon won last week, won here last year, won 5 of the last 11 races in 1998, and finished second in 4 others. Points should be a postscript to racing, not the purpose. The reason to race is to win. That's exactly what these guys must do to have any chance at catching the one car that has been faster than a speeding bullet.
While those guys are busy chasing Dale Jarrett in the points championship battle, Ward Burton hopes that everybody chases him today. He won the pole position on Friday afternoon by shattering the 2-month-old track qualifying record by almost 2 miles an hour. He was second fastest in happy hour, but crew chief Tommy Baldwin decided to make a change to the car this morning. All he'll say is they made some changes to the front geometry. The new tires being used today have caused the cars to be very loose. Baldwin thinks the changes that they have made will make the car more comfortable to drive, allowing Ward to pull away from the field. And we'll see in a few moments if that change worked as we're ready to get this race underway.
Here is the district manager from Meyer, Bob Bly. Gentlemen, start your engines. First
13 races to go in the 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup season. Dale Jarrett lengthening his lead over Mark Martin by 300 now as a result of last weekend at Watkins Glen. The only change in the top 5, Jeff Gordon moved to the 5th position, and Tony Stewart dropped down to 6th. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins, along with Ned Jarrett, and happy to have BP back with us in the booth. We've been coming here to Michigan for many, many years. Have seen some great races, but Ned, there's something different about today's race that we've never seen before.
Well, certainly different from when they were here in June. The drivers were complaining about the cars being tight in June, and as a result, Goodyear has made a new tire. They've restructured the tire, put some more stagger in it, which gives it a loose condition going into the corners here, Benny. And loose conditions going into those corners 200 miles an hour, that's not too good.
That's not too good, and no one really has a handle on exactly what's going to happen. You know, we'll probably see the same guys up front that we usually see, but just maybe, somebody that's never won a Winston Cup race before will be able to make that that perfect combination today and get out there and win his first race, because right now it's really a toss-up as to who has the right combination.
Well, the 43 cars and drivers are fired to life as we get set for 200 laps of racing here. The tires may have caused many of the cars to be loose, but they have also made them very fast. In fact, 10 drivers broke the previous track record, led, of course, by Ward Burton. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, and the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR, invite you to sit back and enjoy the afternoon as we have live coverage of the Pepsi 400 from Michigan Speedway near Brooklyn. It's a beautiful day, and the crowd is ready. We're ready. In just a moment, come back with us for the starting lineup and the green flag.
Well, I live out here on a little old farm, and we have a few cows. I got a pickup, 2 tractors, lawnmower, and a little old boat. Got Everstart batteries in every one of them, except my cow. One in that old pickup's been in there over 4 years. Starts right up every morning.
Everstart, all the cold cranking power you'll ever need.
Don't matter if it's 100 degrees or 0 outside. Starts every time.
Everstart, the name says it all.
My advice is to go to Walmart and get you an Everstart. Get on down the road.
How's the car, Dale? A little tight off. 0 cars moving up. Got them on the inside.
Inside every member of Team Monte Carlo, there's a side that's kind of wild.
Get another tire.
Team Monte Carlo.
Animal. Pardon me.
This year, they're hungrier than ever.
Hey, Jeff. Now, listen, I got it right here, buddy. It's icy cold and tasting great. Now, come on, Jeff, you tell me. Is there anybody in this world who deserves this here Pepsi more than you?
Hi, Jeff.
See you later, Jeff.
Now, that's what I call motivation.
I don't know where she came from.
Don't worry, Jeff. There's always Daytona.
Time to get washed. Daddy's almost home. Honey, can you wash your feet? Hey, I hear Daddy.
Hey, guys. Hi.
Hey, honey.
Okay, let's eat.
Hey, where are the fries?
What, no fries? I can't believe Daddy forgot the fries. I'll go get some more. Some.
Hurry back. Fry breath.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
ESPN's live coverage of the Pepsi 400 from Michigan Speedway is being brought to you by Pepsi, the choice of Michigan Speedway. By Team Monte Carlo, the cars more champions trust. And by Everstart Battery, all the cold cranking power your truck, car, boat, or mower will ever need. Available at Walmart. And there's the overhead shot of the cars as they proceed through turn number 4 on the first of a couple of warm-up laps. We're on a 2-mile oval. The front stretch 3,600 feet, the back stretch 2,242, and the banking in the corners is at 18 degrees, while on the front stretch, the tri-oval part of the racetrack, it's 12 degrees, and the back stretch is nearly flat. All right, let's check the starting lineup now for today's Pepsi 400 from the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Ward Burton has his first pole of 1999, and Mike Skinner has his best start here at Michigan. Dale Jarrett won this race in June. Jeffrey Bodine won in 1994. Jeremy Mayfield had a 7th place last year. Ricky Rudd is in his 46th straight Michigan event. Mark Martin has 4 wins at this facility. John Andretti, the top 10 in the last 2 Michigan races. Jeff Gordon, only 1 Michigan win, but 10 top 5s in 13 races. And Rusty Wallace will start in the 10th position. Back in row number 6, it's Ted Musgrave and Steve Park, career best 6th finish in June here at this facility. Hut Strickland starts in the 13th position, a good qualifying run for him. And then Mr. Michigan, Bill Elliott, who has 7 wins at this racetrack, more than any other active driver.
Back in row 9 this afternoon, Dick Trickle and Chad Little. Trickle's substituting for Ernie Irving, involved in a crash on Friday. See Dale Earnhardt Jr. in row 9. There, row 10, Bobby Labonte and Michael Waltrip.
And as we look at the rest of the starting lineup, we couldn't have asked for better weather here today. The clouds are beginning to build up just a little bit, but there is no threat of rain. It's a relatively cool upper 70s, high expected in the low 80s later this afternoon. And back here are some of these guys, Ned, that may not have found the speed in qualifying, but had good happy hours and maybe threats during the race.
Yeah, there were a number of cars that starting back towards the back that were good in happy hour. And just like Benny talked about, somebody get the right setup and they can come to the front. They can pass a lot of race cars. This track is wide, so they can pass. Tony Stewart was one of those that really looked to be dialed in during the happy hour.
Check those. Terry Labonte, Kyle Petty, Johnny Benson, all these guys had to take provisionals. As we talked about, just not able to find that right combination. And Ned, you're right. The best part about this racetrack is it is so wide.
Darrell Waltrip, Brett Bodine, Derek Cope, Stanton Barrett, and Tom Hubert missed the field and were not able to qualify for it. Darrell Waltrip, of course, will not have another provisional until we get to Darlington. Now let's check the onboard cameras that will complement our coverage.
Here's our Exide Batters onboard camera with Jeff Burton starting back in the 26th position. This is Kenny Wallace, a State Fair Corn Dogs onboard camera. He starts in 23rd. Bobby Labonte has our Circuit City onboard camera. He starts in 19th this afternoon. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be right along with them from his 17th position in the Budweiser onboard camera. Bill Elliott has the McDonald's drive-through camera. He'll be starting in 14th. And Rusty Wallace, a Miller Lite Ford, starts 10th this afternoon here at Michigan Speedway. Mark Martin, everyone says this is the guy to look for. The Valvoline Ford starts 7th. And Ricky Rudd, the Tide on board outside the 3rd row in 6th. And Ed, here's a guy a little special to you.
Well, BJ will be carrying a camera here this afternoon. Be interesting to see how, I know they made a lot of changes on his cars. Most of the others did. See how it's going to work out.
Well, we'll go 200 laps, 400 miles here this afternoon. The purse almost $2 million, and barring any cautions, and cautions have been few and far between here in both the Winston Cup and Busch races recently. They should need fuel between laps 48 and 55, and Dale Jarrett has the race record in June of 1999. An Ernie Irvan update from the doctor.
And Bob, I had the distinct pleasure this morning of speaking with Ernie Irvan from his hospital bed in St. Joseph's Mercy Hospital in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And Ernie said, number one, he wanted to thank all the millions of fans he knows who have kept him and Kim and Jordan and their whole family in their prayers the past 2 days. The good news is he's doing much, much better. They're thinking about possibly discharging him in the next day or so. He thought it might be today, but it will not be. And all our thoughts and prayers are with Ernie. In fact, the team has a sign here to tell Ernie how they will feel. Get well, Ernie, and come back in a hurry. Bob?
And certainly from all of us on the ESPN broadcast team, we wish Ernie Irvan the best and hope that you're back in the cockpit very, very shortly. The pace car is off the field. We're getting set for the start of the Pepsi 400. As the crowd is on its feet, the green flag is in the air, and Ward Burton and Mike Skinner lead them down to turn 1. Back for about 4th and 5th position as Ward Burton leads lap number 1. That's the 8th race that Ward has led in 1999. His most recent time out front was in the July race at Pocono. Mike Skinner running 2nd.
And Skinner's trying to go for the lead. Down the backstretch, there's a low Chevrolet on the inside of the Cat Pontiac. Can he hold it? He goes to the corner. He has the lead now. Does he drift up the racetrack? Does Ward Burton come back? Let's see.
He's going to try. Got a nose up alongside now. He drops in behind Skinner, and looks like Skinner will be able to lead this second lap.
Dale Jarrett running in 3rd position. Jeffrey Bodine 4th. Mark Martin is 5th. Ricky Rudd running in the 6th position. And there is Jeff Gordon and Rusty Wallace running side by side for the 7th spot. Now Gordon takes it.
slides up the racetrack. You see those cars twitching a little bit. That's the complaint they're having. The cars are a little bit loose. And anytime you see the cars twitching, that's what they're talking about, being loose. Right along with Rusty Wallace as he follows Bill Elliott. That's for the 10th position. Here's Bobby Labonte down on the very bottom of the racetrack. And here comes DJ trying to take over second from Ward Burton. Mark Martin's on the inside of Jeffrey Bodine back there for the 4th spot.
On board with Mark Martin, we look up ahead and see that Dale Jarrett is just about to complete the pass and go into second spot, taking it from Ward Burton. He has down the backstretch. We heard in NASCAR today that Tommy Baldwin Jr. has made adjustments to Ward Burton's car overnight. Didn't know whether it would be good or bad. Well, he led the first lap, but now has slipped back a little bit, Jerry.
Exactly, Bob. And what they did, they made some major changes, which involved moving the truck arms or the trailing arms to try to get the car tighter entering the corner. The big concern they had is would it make it too tight leaving the corner. And that's exactly what has happened in the first couple laps here. Ward Burton has complained that the car is simply plowing coming off the corner.
There goes Mark Martin to the inside of Ward Burton, trying to take over the 3rd position.
Yesterday in happy hour, appears to be working good here in the early part of the race today. You see, he can keep it right down on the bottom of the racetrack. That's where he likes to run on this racetrack.
As a matter of fact, these two guys, Mark Martin and Ward Burton, were the 2 fastest in happy hour, and the 3rd fastest was Tony Stewart, who had a real struggle during qualifying, but got things dialed in for the race. Apparently, he chose to set on the work on the race setup and take a provisional to get into the race, so we'll watch for him move up through the traffic. Jeff Gordon takes the high side of the racetrack, trying to get the spot from Jeffrey Bodine.
That's a battle for the 5th spot. Jeff Gordon takes it away from Jeffrey Bodine with no problem.
So he started in 9th place, now has moved up to 5th place, working on Ward Burton. So Gordon appears to have a very good race car now. Of course, he normally does have a good race car.
And that black car back there behind Jeremy Mayfield is Hut Strickland, who has a great run going in the unsponsored number 58 car.
Good to see Hut back in competition and back in contention, as a matter of fact, as we now take a look at Bobby Labonte on the low side of Sterling Marlin as they try to figure out who's going to run in 12th spot.
And Bobby Labonte had started in the 19th position, so he's moving towards the front.
In on the inside of Sterling Marlin, trying to take that spot away, and just with ease drives right by.
Here comes Jeff Gordon to the inside of Ward Burton, and he takes 4th position. Jeff Gordon does. Shots from the Pennzoil copter cam hovering overhead at Michigan Speedway. They go down the backstretch and head for turn number 3. And now Jeff Gordon sets his sights on Mark Martin, who's just up ahead.
Jeff Gordon is running in the middle of the racetrack, entering the corner in the middle, and comes off awfully high. Mark Martin is running on the very bottom of the racetrack.
On board with Mark, his bumper cam looking back to Jeff Gordon. Mike Skinner with about a 0.6 of a second lead on Dale Jarrett. And look at this mess back here. The 25 of Wally Dallenbach. There's the 20 of Tony Stewart on the low side of the track, right behind Dale Earnhardt.
And there's Matt Kenseth in the walk car. The first race starting his own race car.
And we understand that maybe Kevin LePage might have, he came very close to the ball. He might not have hit it, but he came very close. And Tony Stewart has moved all the way up to the 29th position from his 37th starting position. So he's another one moving towards the front.
There is Tony to the low side of Joe Nemechek, and it was announced this weekend that Joe Nemechek would not be back with Felix Sabates in that team in the year 2000, rather. So Dale Earnhardt now goes to the inside of the 77 of Robert Presley, battling for the 23rd position.
And Dale Earnhardt started back in 38, so he has got a quite impressive charge going himself.
just like we anticipated, some of the guys figured it out in happy hour last night, although they didn't have a good qualifying run and are coming through the field from the back. But up front and setting a pace of more than 179 miles an hour is Mike Skinner over Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, and Ward Burton with 10 laps complete.
We're high-tech auto body. Our #1 goal is to make sure we take care of you. We're high-tech. You're the reason we're here doing what we do. We're high-tech.
Collision, repainting, and restoration.
We do it all at high-tech. We're high-tech auto body.
Available at GEX in Hampton and Newport News.
If I had one of those TV rating boxes on my television, the #1 show in the country would be 11 p.m. Sports Center. I never miss it. In my opinion, it's the best thing going. Okay, maybe it won't hit #1, but it'll definitely give Dharma and Greg a run for their money.
A very underrated defense. Daryl Gardner forces an incompletion, knocks Bledsoe to the ground.
Face it, America. Situation comedy, it's a dead genre.
It's the greatest racing on earth.
Excitement! Speed!
The driver!
It's a rush! Acceleration and acceleration!
Family fun.
Fast cars!
Top trucks!
The NASCAR Winston Cup Series, the NASCAR Busch Series, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
NASCAR is racing.
In the early stages of the Pepsi 400, Ward Burton led lap #1 from the pole position, but then at the end of the backstretch on lap 2, Mike Skinner took the lead as Bill Davis, Ward's car owner, looked on. And now the Lowe's team finds their driver out front, but there is certainly a serious challenge on the racetrack from Dale Jarrett as he comes off corner #4 and down through the tri-oval. He and Mike Skinner are side by side, and Jarrett goes to the front.
He got those 5 bonus points on that last lap. He was just a bumper ahead of the number 31 car. Bill Weber has more.
Well, Ned, as we all saw, Dale Jarrett's car was uncooperative, or too cooperative maybe, in happy hour yesterday. It wanted to turn into the turns too quickly. He really couldn't get into the turns the way he wanted to. The right front was turning too early for him. Well, from 4:30 last night till 9 o'clock, stopping briefly for dinner, he and Todd Parrott talked over what to do with the race car. I asked Todd Parrott about 7:30 this morning, can you tell me what you did? He said no, but if it works, I'll let you know. Early in this race, Jarrett said it feels pretty good. A few laps later, he said, I'm tied off, but we can work on that. Good news for the 88. Let's check in with Jerry Fine.
This morning, Larry McReynolds and Mike Skinner talked about what they would do today. They ended up deciding on a rubber in the right front, some shock changes, and that's fixed the condition of being loose entering the corner. But just like Ward Burton, the 31 car now is tight off the corner. They plan a track bar adjustment on their first pit stop, which should come, if we stay green, around lap 50 or 51. But until then, Mike Skinner must just deal with it.
One thing that might be helping that tight situation right now, there's a cloud over the sun, has the track completely under shade, and that normally will tighten the track up a little bit.
Tony Stewart now in 19th, VP.
He was able to pass Dale Earnhardt. He and Earnhardt worked their way through that traffic together, and Earnhardt stayed in front and kind of led Stewart through the traffic. Now, after we got through the traffic, Tony says, thanks, Dale. See ya.
And that's Ricky Craven running way up on the high side of the track. His line's much different than Earnhardt and Tony Stewart.
There's several cars that have gone straight to the top of the racetrack trying to keep these back ends under control. Michael Walton's another one in the 7 car.
Michael is running in 15th at the moment.
There's Jeff Burton trying to work his way to the front. Started back in 26th position as he tries to get along the car of Sterling Marlin. Sterling started back in 18th, so Jeff Burton is going to win.
He's fighting for 12th right there with Sterling Marlin. So both of them have made good advances. 99 of Burton has picked up a few more positions than has Sterling. You can see the chart there, his progress.
I never see Michael Waltrip I was talking about. Now Jeff's going to try it on the outside. It's a pretty good run. Not quite enough run.
Almost about 7 3/4 seconds back of the leader of the race, Dale Jarrett.
Jeff Gordon, of course, is running in third place. A lot of good racing back in the pack. You see there that Gordon is 1.7 seconds behind. Not too long ago, it was almost 2.7 seconds. So Gordon has cut that down. You can see he's come into the picture there now. He is gaining more than 1/10 of a second a lap.
And check out our AutoZone on-track interval between the leader, Dale Jarrett, and Jeff Gordon. We see, just like you said, Ned, he had a 2.5 second lead on Gordon, and now it's down to 1.7. That doesn't sound like much, but just another 5 laps and he'll be right on his rear bumper.
And he is definitely running a higher line than is Jarrett. Jarrett's car seemed to be working a little bit better down on the bottom.
Side-by-side battle here between Jeffrey Bodine and Bobby Labonte for 7th position. On board with Labonte. Thought he was going to be able to get his nose below Jeffrey going into turn 3, but had to back out momentarily. And again, different lines here as Labonte is on the bottom and Jeffrey way up high.
And Bobby Labonte at Interstate Batteries Pontiac started back in 19th. So another car that has a very, very good run going.
He really struggled in qualifying. He was far down the list in the first practice. Didn't know if he'd make the top 25 or not. And he made wholesale changes on the car before qualifying. And he went out and he did qualify in the 19th position.
This is from Bobby Labonte's bumper cam looking back on Jeffrey Bodine. Here comes Gordon like a freight train. Up high, trying to take 2nd position away from Mike Skinner down past the packed grandstand here at Michigan Speedway.
And the GJ fans are standing up and said, get back there. And the Jeff Gordon fans are standing up and saying, come on up there.
And so goes NASCAR Winston Cup racing.
Exactly.
That's the way it should be. Wouldn't do if everybody pulled the same way.
24 is running high on both ends now.
See, there's a spotter telling DJ that the 24 car is now running high on both ends, so you might want to try that line. See, now DJ goes straight to the top of the racetrack, trying to see if that line works for him like it does for Jeff Gordon.
Will it result in a 2nd place here for Gordon? Boy, Mike Skinner is way down on the bottom of the track, almost to the apron, and yes, Jeff does take 2nd spot. It's now about 1/4 of a second or about a car length and a half behind Jarrett. And we see Jeff Burton go to the inside of Michael Waltrip. That is the 13th and 14th position.
But Michael Waltrip has been really running high all the way through the corner. As both those cars close in on. And Jeff Burton still hasn't been able to get by the 40 car, Sterling Marlin, the Coors Light car. Oh, did you see that car backfire? The 40 car, some flame out the exhaust pipe.
Burton must have heard you, Benny, and said, okay, if he thinks I ought to pass him, I will, and he did.
That was for the 12th position. This is for the lead. Now works the lower side of the racetrack. And right behind DJ down the backstretch.
Well, DJ took away that high line from him after his spotter told him where Gordon was running, so Gordon had no choice but to try to go down under. There ain't room up there on the outside to make a good pass.
Doesn't look like Jeff Gordon's car is staying on the bottom of the racetrack right now well enough to pass DJ.
I don't think he could run down there on the bottom.
Thank you very much.
That was DJ's spotter.
Same thing behind you.
Dale Jarrett leads here at Michigan Speedway with Gordon right behind him. Mike Skinner is 3rd, Mark Martin 4th, and Warren Burton, the pole sitter, is in 5th position. Stay with us. We'll be right back for more live coverage of the Pepsi 400 with 24 of 200 laps completed.
guys, huh? Yeah, they are.
Pick one.
Which one? You like this one? Easy then, easy. How about this little guy? Huh?
Yeah. Good choice.
Talking rugged, we're talking fun. You ride the best and the job gets done. Polaris ATVs are made in the USA. We're talking tough.
Buy a new Polaris ATV now and get a Remington rifle or shotgun. Or choose $250 towards Polaris clothing and accessories. See your Polaris dealer for details.
They come to us for many reasons. Because we save them money on what they need with their everyday low price. Because we help them solve their problems and get them back on the road. And because we stand behind the parts we sell with a warranty that's good at more than 2,500 stores coast to coast. Fact is, people everywhere come to us because we're AutoZone, the largest auto parts retailer in America. And there's just no place any better.
Welcome back to ESPN's live coverage of the Michigan Speedway Pepsi 400, being led now by Jeff Gordon. He was able to get the lead from Dale Jarrett just moments ago, and this is how it happened down the backstretch.
Comes off turn 2, gets a great run on DJ, and just simply passes him down the backstretch and pulls up in front in turn 3, so he's now able to go back to the top of the racetrack to his preferred line.
But those guys are running very, very consistent and very close. Gordon at 177.896 last lap, and DJ at 177.883. Jerry Punch.
And Bob, if you'll notice the line that Jeff Gordon is running right now, and even a few others like Michael Waltrip and maybe even Elliott Sadler, you'll note the fact, and what I'm hearing on the radio is that that's a line they all learned when they ran the NASCAR Busch Series race here yesterday. They learned that during the race, if you went up high on the racetrack, you not only could pick up your speed, but the car would turn better in the corners. So Gordon going to school, along with maybe Michael Waltrip, Elliott Sadler, and others, on what they learned yesterday in a 200-miler.
Doc, there were 21 drivers that competed in yesterday's race that are also competing here today. That race yesterday for the Busch Series was won by Dale Earnhardt Jr., but Gordon did finish in second position. Ward Burton was fourth, Martin fifth, Michael Waltrip sixth, Jeff Burton seventh, Jimmy Spencer eighth, Kevin LePage ninth. That was almost a Winston Cup race in the Busch cars.
That's what Bill Weber said yesterday. It was a Winston Cup race disguised with Busch cars.
Here's Bobby Labonte. He has moved up to 5th place now, and he's running faster than Jeff Gordon is right now. He has been coming through traffic, and you can see the progress that he's made from lap 5 from 15th all the way up to 5th now. He just passes him where he catches him. He's running about 4.3 seconds behind, but the last time around he was 4.5 seconds behind. So he's picking up from 1 to 2/10 of a second a lap.
There is Ward Burton, our pole sitter, who is running sort of by himself back in 6th position. Ward, of course, will have a teammate next year in Dave Blaney, but this year a one-car team for the Bill Davis operation, and right behind him is Bill Elliott. 7 times he has visited victory lane here at Michigan Speedway, and 7 times he has been on the pole.
Right now, Bill is about 6.7 seconds behind Jeff Gordon.
Next car back is a power team Chevrolet. Elliott going down the backstretch. Boy, he's had so much success here at this Michigan Speedway. Many, many years drove for Harry Mellon, who lived here in Brooklyn. And there we see Jeffrey Bodine, the power team Chevrolet, back in the 8th position. Jeffrey had that great qualifying run, started in 4th, and is now back 9.5 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Gordon.
The 24 car was fastest. Bobby Labonte was second quick, and Jeff Burton was third fastest that last lap.
So obviously, Jeffrey Bodine will look in his mirror and see Jeff Burton in the Excite Batteries Ford closing in on him.
Right behind Jeff Burton in the 10th position is John Andretti. There you see on your pylon, he's about 11 seconds behind Jeff Gordon.
He has lost 2 positions since he started. Started in 8th position.
Here comes Ricky Rudd, who had a good qualifying effort. Like to see him put together a good finish here today. He needs sponsorship, of course, for the year 2000. Or perhaps he's going to sell the team and join another team. The silly season has definitely begun, though. And a battle for 4th position now between Mark Martin and Mike Skinner. And here comes Bobby Labonte catching up to the duel.
Well, Mark Martin has just passed the 31 car of Mike Skinner, and Bobby Labonte, while that was going on, he was just gradually picking up on them. Right now, he's not running faster than the leader, but he's running faster than everybody else out there, Bobby Labonte is.
More on Bobby Labonte from Jerry Punch.
Bob, you really got to give a call to Jimmy Makar and this entire Interstate Battery crew. They made some major changes. Quite a gamble this morning in the garage area. They changed 2 springs, both sway bars. Yes, they are running a rear sway bar here. And they made some significant changes that affected the nose weight of the car. They're trying to keep the swing weight, that's the weight toward the back of the car, that lets the back of the car break loose entering the corner, down by moving that weight toward the front. And obviously those changes, quite a gamble, are paying off now.
Yes, indeed. He's up to the 4th position, and boy, here is a group of cars that have been going at it for several laps now. That's Matt Kenseth to the inside of Kenny Irwin as they go 3 abreast through the 2nd corner.
Jimmy Spencer said, thank goodness I'm out of that crowd. There's Dale Earnhardt right in front of Joe Nemechek, and then Robert Presley, Kenny Irwin.
22nd on back. Nemechek works up high with Robert Presley. Kevin LePage there in the 26th position.
That blue car, different paint job, is Johnny Benson and Bobby Hamilton at the end of this line.
And Bobby Labonte picks up another position. He's now in 3rd, passing Mark Martin.
On board our Circuit City onboard as we look back at Mark Martin from Bobby Labonte.
Well, Jeff Gordon has about a 1.5 second lead on Dale Jarrett. 37 of 200 laps are completed in the Pepsi 400. We'll have more in a moment.
We thought of them when we gave it a more powerful V8 than any top-selling Ford or Dodge pickup. We thought of them when we gave it a bigger extended cab than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram. Maybe that's why Motor Trend thought of us. The new Chevy Silverado. It's the truck. The Motor Trend Truck of the Year.
He's in the garage.
Hey! If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base. Specially formulated for stop-and-go driving. This is a home improvement. Enter the Pennzoil Dream Garage Sweepstakes. Get a free Tim Allen Signature Tools utility knack knife and a chance to win a Celine Mustang or enough cash to build your own dream garage. Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
These are Cobalt tools, the finest mechanics tools you can buy in any store. They've got contoured handles for a better grip. And the K-drive that grabs fasteners on the sides, not the corners, which means more torque, less rounding, and less slippage. so Cobalt tools can stand up to anything. From where I'm standing, that's a very good thing. Cobalt, setting the standard in mechanics tools. Made in the USA and guaranteed forever. At Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse and online.
Mom, Dad, if I'm paying rent, I gotta have a better breakfast than this.
Mark.
I know there's some dietary restrictions at the table, but no way.
What would you like, Mark?
Potatoes, sausage, eggs.
Would you like me to serve that to you in a nice warm skillet?
That would be great.
What does this look like? A Holiday Inn?
Want a better breakfast? Try our award-winning Best for Breakfast menu in today's Holiday Inn.
Robert Yates saw his driver Dale Jarrett out front for 12 laps. Then Jeff Gordon took over and is currently the leader. Gordon has lifted that Winston Cup trophy on 3 different occasions in his short career, but the man to beat this year for the Winston Cup appears to be Dale Jarrett, who has a 300-point lead in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series as we enter this 22nd event of 1999. There's how they run. After 40 of the 200 laps, we have been green all the way so far. And now 6 through 10, Ward Burton was the pole sitter, is back to 6th, followed by Elliott, Jeff Burton, Jeffrey Bodine, and John Andretti. 42 cars still on the lead lap. The only car not on the lead lap is Ted Musgrave, who has dropped a cylinder, and now Kyle Petty goes a lap down in 42nd position.
Kyle Petty told us yesterday during the NASCAR Busch Series race that no matter what he did, that maybe he was a governor because everything they did to the car, it ran the same speed. He just could not find the speed he needed in that Hot Wheels Pontiac to keep up with these guys.
Here comes 3rd and 4th, Bobby Labonte and Mark Martin. There is Ward Burton, Bill Elliott, Jeff Burton, Jeffrey Bodine, and John Andretti. And back there in the now 13th position and trying to take over 12th from Michael Waltrip is Tony Stewart.
What an incredible run this young man has had.
Started to 37th, so he's picked up 24th positions.
He was 3rd fastest in happy hour last evening, John Kernan.
Well, Bob, that is a brand new race car. The only other time it's been on the track, they tested it at Indianapolis. Tony has told the crew that the car is a little bit free off the corners, but other than that, it's all right. Remember the first 20 laps? He followed Dale Earnhardt through the traffic. Well, Earnhardt's car picked up a push. Tony motored on by and has pulled away from him. And the interesting thing, in the last few laps, he's starting to run quicker lap times. He started out at a 40-80. The next lap, it was a 40-70. Then a 40-60. Last time, 40-50. So Tony Stewart getting faster.
BP, I'm sure you watched this last week. Remember, he got penalized, had to serve a penalty on pit road, dropped way back to the field, and he came up to finish in 6th position. And again, it was only his 2nd road course race in a Winston Cup car.
There you see Musgrave on the inside, as Bob told you just a moment ago, as running on 7 cylinders now. One is failed.
Pennzoil Copter Cam has these overhead shots for you as the race progresses under green. According to what we told you early in the race, we should be seeing some pit stops before very long because we're almost to the 45-lap mark.
Yeah, I would say in the next 5 laps or so as the brothers Burton run side by side here. And Jeff just goes right on by and takes over that 7th position.
Here's a Napa field summary showing you the manufacturer's points battle with Ford out on top. Jarrett, of course, the best of the Ford contingent right now in 2nd position. They have 4 of the top 10 positions, and Chevy has 3 of the top 10 positions, including the leader in Pontiac with 3 drivers in the top 10, and Tony Stewart very close.
Well, right now we're on lap 45. I think as soon as we see lap 50, we'll see maybe even 48 or 49. We'll see several cars stop and get the tire change and make some much-needed adjustments. But they want to get to the point they can make this on 3 stops rather than have to stop that 4th time.
Yeah, I would say that we'll see some coming in 48 laps. Jeff Bodine and John Andretti battling for the 9th position. Bodine is 9th. And Andretti in 10th place. He's caught Jeffrey.
And 2 distinct different lines. Jeffrey Bodine on the very bottom of the racetrack and John Andretti at the very top.
We have a caution waving on the racetrack.
Here's the car. Is that Dave Marcus trying to get his lap back?
And he does. David Green's trying to, but he didn't get there.
First caution of the race comes out on the 48th lap.
No, first caution of the year.
Here at Michigan.
In Michigan, that's right. Pace car quickly moves onto the racetrack and will catch up to Jeff Gordon. Yeah, it's kind of unusual to see a caution. You only had a couple during the Busch race yesterday, didn't you?
Just more than
Just one.
One?
Yep.
Okay. I wouldn't do much to that.
See David Green and Dick Trickle in the M&M's car in the place of Ernie Irvin, having to back off because they did not beat the leader Jeff Gordon back to the line.
And I don't think it was necessarily a situation of Gordon just trying to keep them a lap down. He didn't realize he was going to get the caution until he was coming off of turn 4. And he did back off at that time once he realized that he was going to get the caution. And Dave Marcus was able to get by, but the others were too far behind to get a run on him to get by.
Apparently there is debris on the track down in turn 1 because a sweeper has moved to that point of the racetrack. However, this caution does come at a very good time because, as we had just talked about, it was almost time for the first round of pit stops.
And no one had pitted, so no one really gets penalized yet, so that's good.
On board with Rusty Wallace, now Ricky Rudd, as we are going to see a whole bunch of cars come in for a stop.
Going up and down, trying to tell the driver where they're located.
Down to John Koenig.
Tony Stewart is in for a 4-tire change and made an air pressure adjustment to try and tighten the car up just a little bit. Also, a wedge adjustment down to Jeff Gordon's pit and Bill Weber.
Jeff Gordon is a little tight off the turns, but not much. Perhaps a slight air pressure adjustment. Other than that, no changes. 4 tires and lots of fuel. 48 laps on the board. Back to Labonte.
Likewise, Bobby Labonte tight coming off the corners, an air pressure adjustment on all 4 tires, and now it is a race down pit road. Looks like Gordon will get it, Jarrett, and then Bobby Labonte. Great pit work here for the first stop of the day.
Gordon, Jarrett, Labonte, Burton, Elliott, Martin, and Tony Stewart in that order coming off.
What a huge break this was for Tony Stewart because he's now able to catch up with the lead cars and find out just how good he is. Jerry Punch.
Oh, and it looks like possibly the pinion gear, the rear end gear, may have come out of the 31 car as he was trying to leave pit road. Mike Skinner came in for a routine pit stop, started to leave, something popped, and now they're scrambling to get the Lowe's Chevrolet back behind the wall and be able to take a look at the rear end. They're saying over the radio, and I'm listening right now to Mike talking to Larry McReynolds, and they think it may be the pinion gear. And Benny and Ed, you guys can explain exactly what we're talking about because we have concrete here where you have to leave pit road.
Yeah, we see a line of oil right there going. There it comes off pit road. This concrete pit road gets such a grip and they let these cars down that a lot of times you break something in the drive line.
Well, many had high hopes for Mike Skinner here today. He qualified second fast, started on the front row, but his car is behind the wall right now.
Introducing the official Petty Collection. 4 distinct die-cast collector series celebrating 50 years of Petty Enterprises. Only from Racing Champions. The Petty Collection from Racing Champions. Available at your favorite retailer. Check it out.
$10 for lunch? I heard of a guy got a brand new car for that.
Sounds like a Darrell Waltrip story.
Oh, I swear it's true. This guy was at the track. He sees this notice. It says brand new hot rod. $10.
No, it's not a misprint. Stop by and see for yourself.
Turns out her husband met this little gal at the track, and he ran off to Tahiti with her. And he told his wife to sell the car and send him the money. No.
Now at Kmart.
Rick, this is Dale Jarrett, and I realize my performance affects your NASCAR Championship Challenge team, but I can't accept this jar of the Rick fuel formula you sent. It's unregulated, and is that salami floating in there?
This summer, if you can zoom it up,
Sonic can put it in a cup. We've got hundreds of drink flavors you can mix and match. Plus, our 44-ounce Route 44 big drinks. Enough choices to let your dreams run wild.
Sonic America's driving.
Over 150,000 people here at Michigan Speedway today. Every seat is filled, and there is a whole bunch of people in the infield. And there are a whole bunch of disappointed Mike Skinner fans right now because he's behind the wall, Doc.
And Mike sits patiently in his low Chevrolet. Mike, a great beginning, and suddenly it went away. What happened as you were leaving the pit?
Well, I guess our Michigan luck is holding up for us. Broke a gear, I guess. Was just normal pit stop. Got behind a little bit on the pit stop, and I said, well, we can't make up for it here. We just got to get it first gear, leave the pits, and seen Bobby take off there, and they got their tire up. I said, well, let's go. And Jack came down and let the clutch out. She stayed right where she's at. I broke the rear end gear.
I'm hearing Larry Reynolds tell the crew you need a rear end and a drive shaft. Now, just before the caution came out, you commented that the engine was sputtering a little bit, and you looked at the fuel pressure.
Yeah, I think it got a piece of trash in the carburetor or something, and it started fluttering pretty good there for about a lap, and then it seemed to started clearing up. I didn't change the ignition box or nothing. Fuel pressure kind of came back where it was for normal, so I think the engine's going to be okay. I just got to keep a gear in it.
All right, Mike Skinner behind the wall. He is stopped right now. There are a couple guys came on and off pit road for stop and go as they're leaving right now, including Mark Martin in the car number 6 and the 20 of Tony Stewart.
What a break Tony Stewart got now. He's got to do it all over again.
Yep.
Man.
The crew cam is being worn by Tommy Baldwin as he works on Ward Burton's car. Here comes Ward in, and Tommy goes to work.
Just that fast. Now let's go to the left side. Come on. Get it up. Get it up. Let's go. Get the jack up. Come on. There we go. Man, that precision that's just incredible how well they're able to do that.
Tony Stewart gained 5 positions on pit road. He was going to fall into about 7th position, but because of the stop-and-go penalty for speeding, he is back to 35th spot. Look at that.
Man,
Mark Martin from 4th to 32nd.
Man, oh man, tough break.
Well, they still got 300 miles to do it. Get back up there, and he's already come from there in 100 miles, so
yep.
Tony Stewart did.
We're ready for the restart. Kyle Petty and Dick Trickle down to the inside as lap cars. As the green comes out on lap number 52, we had 4 laps of caution, but now the green waves once again.
And here goes DJ trying to take that lead off too.
He probably needed to get a run on while he had those new tires on there. The new Gordon will be tough to pass later on, and I think he's going to be tough to pass right now.
In the corner number 3, they race side by side. Jarrett on the bottom and Jeff Gordon up in the middle of the racetrack, and Jarrett gets the advantage coming off the corner.
Just a little bit, which allowed Bobby Labonte to get alongside, and here comes Ward Burton.
Jeff Gordon led 26 laps, but now Jarrett is back out in front. He's led 13, and look at Ward Burton become a factor.
Well, those Pontiacs are fast, running second and third side by side, still keeping up.
Burton trying to get second.
Oh, and he spins right in front of him, still up and slams it outside wall.
Car stays up at the top of the racetrack, and that is good news because there were many cars right behind him, and it looks like it's only going to be a 1-car accident. At least let's hope so.
Well, that's amazing that it is just a 1-car accident because they were at the front and the whole field had to go by.
Yep. They were battling for second position, Bobby Labonte and Ward Burton. And Ward has hit the wall pretty hard.
Jeff Gordon said, hey, man, why'd you cut me off coming off turn 4 there for? BJ said, I didn't do anything.
I thought
I thought I had a little more room than that. Didn't mean to mess him up there.
That was DJ. Tell him thought he had a little more room than that. Here's Ward getting there, and the car just got loose on him down underneath there. And that was one of the things they were complaining about yesterday when they got underneath another car going into the turn. Of course, they were already into turn 3 pretty good when that happened, but it takes the air off the spoiler, and around he went.
And I think you mentioned it earlier, Benny. Almost all the crashes that we saw in the Busch practice yesterday morning or Friday morning, in which Ernie Irvin was injured, they do a half spin and hit on the driver's side.
Exactly. They just half spin. Now watch the car go around. It goes up the hill, does a half spin, and backs it on. Now if they could just keep going and go around and hit the nose, it would be one thing, but they always slam on that left side. Jerry Punch.
And guys, we got to remember, when the race began, Ward Burton complained about the car being very, very tight, meaning it wouldn't turn coming off the corner. Now, that last pit stop just a moment ago was the only pit stop of the day. They made a significant adjustment to the air pressure and the wedge to free the car up. Ward had the back end planted for the first 46 laps. Now he tries to go make a move, but he's Bobby Labonte, and with that adjustment, obviously the back end wasn't planted enough anymore, and it came around. That's what the crew is hypothesizing may have happened here as they sit and watch the dismal picture on the infield screens and see how badly damaged their pole-setted car actually is.
Well, evidently Ward is okay because they're hooking the record of the car, which tells me that he is probably okay. And we saw the officials there talking to Ward. They're trying to get him out of the car, and he says, man, I feel good sitting here right now.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in for a pit stop. He pitted not too long ago, so is Wally Dallenbach, as we ride on board with Dale Jr. And they're going to change left side tires.
Oh, they're going to make a change.
Yeah, they're jacking it up. One thing, to get it completely full of fuel, and yeah, they did something back there on that left rear.
Well, we talked about the silly season, and there's a good way to keep up on what's happening whenever there was an official announcement regarding the 1999 season and how it will affect the 2000 series. You can catch up with what's going on the NASCAR website, www.nascar.com. We'll be right back.
Hey, Ray, those brake pads really did the trick.
Great.
I got a couple more things I need. Do you think you have these?
Think? No problem. Hey, Jeff, can you get these for Dan? I'm on it. Hey, Dan, here you go. Anything else?
No, I think this'll do it.
All right, great.
Thanks, guys.
Not as fast as Charlotte. Yeah, I know. I was a little slow in that turn at aisle 3.
Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Peter from the Plank Road Brewery. We wanted to thank the Bunchies for drinking our beers. The glorious, never watered down taste of nectar we call Ice House. And we spend 80 hours a week here. But for us, it's a labor of love. It's a gift. It's a craft. It's an art.
Like macrame.
So anyways, thanks for drinking our beers. Enjoy. What can we say? Out here, our world is beer.
If you're anything like me, you love your car. You care for it, you polish it, you protect it from damage. But really caring for your car starts right here, the engine. It's the heart of your car and deserves the best. And for me, that's Mobil 1 Tri-Synthetic. Look, I've seen the figures and tests that prove it. But really, it all comes down to this one simple fact. With Mobil 1, a whole lot of people get to treat their cars a whole lot better.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
I'm gonna miss you so much. Come on. None of that.
Dad, can I go with you?
Not this time, son. You're the man of the house now. I need you to take care of your mother and your little sister while I'm gone.
That goes for you too, Buster. You be a good dog, okay?
I gotta go.
I know.
The NFL is back. Falcons-Titans, Friday at 8:15 on ESPN.
The Michigan Speedway hosting the Pepsi 400 here this afternoon for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. 55 laps completed under caution. Well, it's the back-to-school blitz. College football next weekend. Saturday, college game day begins at 11. Then Arizona and Penn State on ABC at 1. Louisiana Tech and Florida State on the deuce at 5. North Carolina State and Texas on the deuce at 8:30. And then Sunday on ABC, a week from today, it's number 12 Miami against number 9 Ohio State. State.
Tell me it's not so. Football season already.
It is football season, and one person who is especially happy about that is a member of the coverage team on Thursday nights on ESPN, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Bob, I can't wait. We are so excited about teeing it up and getting ready for college football on ESPN and ESPN2. In fact, a week from next Thursday, I will be back in Michigan at East Lansing, Michigan for Oregon at Michigan State to kick off our season of Thursday night college football. What a great lineup. We go out to Washington at BYU. We got Clemson at Virginia Tech. We've got an incredible lineup for Thursday night. And, of course, we kick it off two weeks from this past Thursday up here in East Lansing. And then I get to go do NASCAR racing on the weekend. What a job. I love being a part of this.
Boy, you got it made, Doc. Well, I tell you, these mornings up here in southern Michigan, the last couple of mornings, it sure indicates that it's football season, doesn't it?
Very nice. Yeah, cool. The days haven't been nearly as hot as we've had in the south either.
Yep. Nice, dry weather, not very much humidity.
If you just turned on the television, you wonder what's the caution flag about Ward Burton in the Caterpillar car. Pole sitter, as a matter of fact, just crashed about 2 or 3 laps ago up in turn 3. I think Ward is okay. I saw them talking to him, and they hooked up the wrecker and brought the car back. We did not see him get out of the car. I don't know if he even got out of the car, but we see him going in turn 3 on the inside of Bobby Labonte. We'll show you what happened to Ward. There he goes in the corner, and he doesn't have that wall of air to lean against. He goes up and, bam, smacks that wall hard.
Touched Bobby Labonte just a little bit there, but the crew feels that it did not do enough damage to certainly not to warrant a pit stop.
Ward Burton, the pole sitter, did lead lap number 1, but after that, Dale Jarrett took over. 4 leaders so far. Gordon has led the most, then Jarrett, Skinner, and Ward Burton. Back in a moment.
It is more than sport. It is spirit. Ritual. Family. The Coca-Cola Racing family. Refreshed by Coke.
Hi, I'm Jeff Burton with an exciting message for NASCAR fans. Buy any Exide NASCAR Select product and get a Motorola pager free. It's a great way to enter the Exide NASCAR Select 99 sweepstakes. Every month you'll be paged with another chance to win cool prizes. You could even win $50,000 and be an honorary member of the Exide Racing Team pit crew for the first race of the next century. Look for details wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Oh, wait, man, I gotta find a phone.
It's a dead heat coming out of the turn. Martin spots an opening and roars through it. Mark Martin takes it wide, very wide. He's leaving the track.
Hardee's new All-Star Bacon Cheeseburger. A big, juicy bacon cheeseburger loaded with everything. A favorite of Mark Martin of the Hardee's All-Star Racing Team.
Martin is through the gate and back on the track.
The All-Star Bacon Cheeseburger. Only at Hardee's.
Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Curtin, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch back with you on this Sunday afternoon in the southern Michigan area, the Irish Hills at Michigan Speedway, as the Pepsi 400 is 58 laps old. And next time around, they'll get the green flag and restart this event.
Ourselves and about 150,000 of our closest friends.
There are 37 cars still on the lead lap.
There you see the 50 car. Ricky Craven to the very end of the line. He has made a pit stop. See Ted Musgrave on 7 cylinders has waved Kyle Petty by. There's Ricky Craven.
Well, this afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern time, after our coverage of the stock car race, you can turn over to ABC and check out the Kart FedEx Championship Series as they run their very first race at Chicago Motor Speedway. It's the Target Grand Prix of Chicago, and that will be on ABC at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Max Pappas has won the pole for that event. 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Less strange on RPM. Friday night, he was complaining about how not getting around the racetrack.
Is that right?
On the pole.
All right, Doc, bring us up to date on the tire situation.
I'm with Tony Fraun, who's the lead engineer for the NASCAR tire development from Goodyear. And Tony, tell us about the new tire at Michigan. We're hearing a lot about the cars being loose going in, but I'm told from most of the drivers that it's a huge improvement over what you had.
Yeah, basically, Jerry, what's going on is this tire enables the drivers to be able to turn the car better through the center of the corners. And what we're seeing here at Michigan today is the drivers that are able to harness the cornering power of that tire are coming to the front, and as the teams adjust, more and more of those cars will start going quick.
A little more staggered than what they're accustomed to, and also some increased sidewall flexibility. Is that what's creating a little bit of the work for them?
That's part of the equation, yes.
All right, green flag, guys.
Dale Jarrett is the leader over Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Bill Elliott, and Jeff Burton. By the way, Mike Skinner is back in the race, 8 laps down. There he is.
As he dives down to the inside, goes by David Green. I saw David Green had to be pushed back on their last caution flag. Not exactly sure what happened to his car. He is a lap down. Oh, we got a mess back here now.
A group of those cars been running in a mess all along from the get-go.
Kyle Petty said, let me out of there. I don't belong in that mess.
Kyle is a lap down.
Looking back from Ricky Rudd's car. Oh, there's Earnhardt down to the inside of Chad Little. Rusty Wallace is back there. So is Sterling Marlin. They all pass by David Green, who is a lap down back in 39th spot. Look at Earnhardt. Way down to the inside. Almost the left side tires below the yellow line.
Well, this is a wide racetrack. They can do a lot of racing. And Mark Martin is back there in that mess, as Benny calls it. I saw him 3 wide there a moment. There he is 3 wide again right now. Position he didn't want to be in, but, you know, he got penalized. And now Jeff Gordon is being passed by the 36 car, which is a lap down, and Bobby Labonte. Labonte took over second with that pass. On the first run, it seemed to take Gordon's car just a little bit to really come in and get settled the way that he liked for it to. So he's probably just riding there right now. I said, okay, you guys go ahead.
More from Bill Weber.
Matt, I think what they're being very cautious of, they are a little concerned about wearing out that right rear tire like we talked about on NASCAR today with Benny. Ray Evernham told Jeff before the green came back out that we do have a little right rear wear, but that will go away as the laps go by.
You know, they ran, Jeff Gordon and a bunch of cars ran awfully high that first run, and that going up high in the racetrack, getting in that green racetrack will wear the tires a little excessively. That might be one reason that Jeff Gordon has moved down lower on the racetrack than he was running, trying to save that tire for the first 10 or 15 laps and then move up the racetrack so he can safely run 50 laps without wearing the right rear out.
And Jerry has more on the tire wear.
And I was just polling some of the Goodyear engineers who have been going pit to pit to pit down here, and what they're seeing and what I saw come off like the 18 car, Bobby Labonte, was pretty excellent tire wear on the right side. In fact, they've told Jimmy Maycar and some of the crew chiefs down at this end of pit road that they could probably go a fuel stop and a half on the right side tires, and the left side tires, if need be, could go easily 2 fuel stops. So I guess it depends on how the car is handling, whether you're going to wear the right front if you're pushing or the left rear if you're loose.
We're watching Dale Earnhardt as he tries to get 10th position from Rusty Wallace. You noticed on your Napa Field summary how the points positions are changing, of course, as the race goes along. And one of the big changes in the top 5, Bobby Labonte, because of his position on the racetrack right now in second, is second in points. And Mark Martin, who is back in the 23rd position, dropping to 3rd.
Bob, I mentioned early in the race that a cloud cover has come over. Well, the sun came back out for a little while, but now there is a cloud over the sun, and most of the racetrack is under shade. The backstretch is not, but other than that, the rest of it is.
3 wide back there in the second turn. Man, these guys are doing some fine racing, aren't they?
Yes, and there's Skinner and Dick Trickle, and here comes Jeff Burton trying to catch up with the McDonald's car, Bill Elliott, and move up on the outside. Burton trying to take over 4th spot.
And Bobby Labonte has just taken over 1st spot.
We have a new leader for the first time this afternoon. Bobby Labonte leads the Pepsi 400. Looking back from Bill Elliott's onboard camera. We talked about the penalty that was assessed to Tony Stewart and Mark Martin. They dropped clear back into the pack, and they have been running very close together on the racetrack, too.
Almost too close.
Then they come off turn, turn 4. You're right, Ned. Almost too close.
They're 22nd and 23rd right now as we turn our attention up front, where Jeff Gordon comes to the inside of Dale Jarrett as Gordon tries to take over 2nd's position. And look at Bill Elliott back there in 4th, looking like the Bill Elliott of old.
Yes, he is having a great run here this afternoon.
See there, Bobby Labonte has pulled away to about a 12-15 car length advantage. Of course, a little bit of that was as a result of Gordon and Jarrett running side by side for a portion of the last lap.
In many ways, this is a different race already than what we saw in June. That, of course, went flag to flag with no interruptions. We've had a couple of cautions already in this race in the first 66 laps, and we have seen 5 different leaders.
And there might be another before too long. See that 4th place car there Jeff Burton just got around Bill Elliott? That car is coming on towards the front. In fact, the last few laps, not the last lap because he was passing Elliott, but he had been the fastest car each lap at the line.
And Dale Earnhardt's battling with Jeremy Mayfield trying to take over the 7th position.
John has more on Dale Earnhardt, who's looking pretty good here this afternoon.
Yes, he is, Bob. Remember, I told you a little bit earlier that the car had developed a slight push earlier in the race. Well, on that last pit stop, they took on 4 tires, and they made a wedge adjustment with 2 rounds to try and free the car up a little bit. Earnhardt hasn't said a whole lot of anything yet, so I guess he's pretty pleased with the car right now.
Ricky Rudd is following him, or trying to, but look at Earnhardt go to the low side of the racetrack and blow by Jeremy.
He just turned that car left down in turn 1 and went right by Jeremy. Great power move by Earnhardt.
That moves him up into the 7th position. Here is Bobby Labonte, who has about a 3/4 second lead on Jeff Gordon, but the man on the move is Jeff Burton, who is 4th, about a 2nd and 3/4 behind Bobby Labonte. And once again, not a particularly good qualifying effort for Jeff Burton. He started 26th. But as has been the custom, it seems, the normal in Winston Cup races this year, he quickly moves through the field and becomes a contender. He certainly is here this afternoon. Coming up on 70 laps completed at Michigan Speedway in the Pepsi 400, it's Labonte, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett, the top 3.
Live Day 19, traveling the circuits of NASCAR.
Darlington, Daytona, Talladega, Charlotte. The drivers, the cars, the action, bumper to bumper, mano-a-mano at speeds of over 200 miles an hour, with us covering every heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping moment at the incredible speed of over
35 miles an hour, as fast as it goes.
What? It's a good thing they keep going around in circles.
You think you drive hard? Yeah, well, we all have our dreams. This is hard driving. Number 24, Jeff Gordon. He takes a 700 horsepower machine and drives it like a rental. All he does is win.
Jeff Gordon wins the Frontier at the Glen.
Hey, and in the engine, Quaker State Ultra Premium. As in ultimate engine protection. You know the stuff. And so does Jeff's competition. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
We're going to do it again, I hope.
No multi-million-dollar contracts. No victory laps. Not even a winner's circle. But if you think these weekend warriors who run the SCORE Desert Championship Series take anything for granted, think again. Which is exactly why they run with the Duralast battery from AutoZone. A battery so tough, so dependable, we back it with a 2-year free replacement guarantee. The next time you hit the road, don't settle for anything less.
We welcome you to ESPN's live coverage of the Pepsi 400 from Michigan Speedway, being brought to you by Quaker State for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. By the more than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you. The Pennzoil Copter Cam providing a beautiful overhead shot of this 2-mile high bank facility near Brooklyn, Michigan, Michigan Speedway. And it's the Pepsi 400. 73 laps have been completed, and it is Bobby Labonte who has the lead by about 0.6 of a second over Jeff Gordon. There's the leader of the race, who is about to complete his 10th lap at the front. Right now, Jeff Gordon, running second, has led the most laps, 26. Jarrett has led 25. And Jeff Burton continues to march forward. He now is in third, passing Dale Jarrett.
Jarrett radioed in a little bit ago to his crew chief and said the car was a little bit tight right now. And Jeff Burton has worked right on through.
We saw his brother, Ward Burton, who was the pole sitter in the race, have some problems a little bit earlier in the event. He and Labonte were side by side through the third corner, and up into the wall goes Ward Burton. Now, he stayed in the car all the way into the garage area. Let's get the latest from Bill Weber.
Well, Ward did visit the infield care center. First of all, Ward, how are you?
I've got a headache, got a few bruises, but nothing that won't heal up. Just really sorry and disappointed for my Caterpillar team and all their sponsors. Picked up a few positions going into 1, coming off of 2, and went into 3, and just looped on me. And I don't know what I need to do different, but it just didn't give me any warning.
Okay, another disappointing day. Best of luck. We'll see you at Bristol.
Okay, thanks.
Ward's had a couple of major disappointments in the last couple of races. Look at Jeff Gordon so high on the track.
Yeah, he said, okay, I've given that right rear enough time. I think I'll move back to the top, see if I can catch this 18 car.
And abuse it a little bit, huh?
Yeah, he might be abusing it, but he's catching the 18 car. He's cut it down now to 0.3 of a second. It was about 3/4 of a second.
Just about 2 car lengths as they hit the back stretch.
And back to the Circuit City onboard camera as Bobby Labonte looks back at Jeff Gordon.
And that's not as far as it looks.
No.
That camera. In fact, he's pulling right up within a car length. In fact, he's going to try to move. No, he's going to try to move by and move to the inside of him, but couldn't quite get that much momentum as he got around Ted Musgrave coming off the turn.
Here is Tony Stewart, who continues to march through the field after serving a penalty for speeding on pit road. He goes to the inside of the number 60 car of Jeffrey Bodine and takes away the 15th position. Now, Mark Martin, who is also penalized, is running in 17th.
So both of those drivers have made good moves towards the front. And you can see there how Tony Stewart is doing it. That car is working great down on the bottom of the racetrack. He just puts it down there, nails the gas, and moves right on ahead.
And while that was going on, look who's back at the front of the field.
Man, we can't watch it pass around the racetrack without another pass happening on us. Jeff Gordon back to the lead. Wonder how that happened.
Well, let's see.
We'll show you.
Yeah. Okay. Down in turn 1, Gordon just dives down to the inside and does that famous slide job. Come on, Jeff, slide up the hill in front of him. Come on, man. There you go.
There you did it.
Marlin, Rusty Wallace, Rick Mast, and Jeremy Mayfield, and they're back there in about 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Jeremy's trying the high side, Rusty's trying the middle, and Rick Mast is trying the bottom. Makes for pretty exciting racing. We'll see what they're doing. They're getting down to turn 1. bottom. There goes Rusty in the middle. There goes Jeremy to the high side.
Same deal. Here comes Stewart down on the low side. Boy, he is running very low. He has to come up a little bit there coming off the turn.
Ricky Rudd running in 14th position. Stewart able to get through the corner and make up some time in the middle, but he's not able to get that momentum off the corner that the high line provides Ricky Rudd.
Take a look at the Lowe's field summary, rather, showing you that Ford leads the manufacturers' battle and the top representatives of the three car makers in the field.
Man, oh man, what a mess this is.
Got some traffic ahead of him now, doesn't he?
Chad Little's got a great run going in that John Deere car up in 7th position.
Jimmy Spencer also doing well in 8th. Rick Mast is in 9th. And up ahead there at the top of the racetrack is Dale Earnhardt, who's in 10th spot.
Jimmy Spencer.
John Kernan has a report on Dale Earnhardt.
Bob, we've seen Earnhardt lose several positions over the last few laps. That's because the car just will not turn in the corners. So he's having to let off the gas a little bit early and not be able to get back on the gas soon enough. So they're going to make some air pressure adjustments, possibly another chassis adjustment, try to loosen that car up just a little bit more on their next pit stop.
Now here we are, 3 abreast as Mark Martin is on the inside of Tony Stewart. And that's a battle for, I don't know, something 14th, 15th, somewhere.
How'd he do that as low as Stewart has been running?
Yeah.
Of course, Mark always runs low on this racetrack.
And Ricky Rudd makes it a 4-car battle, and Jeffrey Bodine is there for a 5-car battle.
Ooh, Tony just able to squeeze in between Ricky Rudd and Jeffrey Bodine.
Bill Weber has a report from the Mark Martin pit.
Well, in the corner of your screen, you can take a look at Tommy Wallace, who's just put on that Valvoline jacket. He comes over from the 22 team. He's going to change front tires for Mark Martin. Mark's first stop was 18.11 seconds. Not that quick, but not that bad when you consider Robert Benfield, who was changing the front tires, did it while having a kidney stone attack. Oh. He has since gone back to the garage, and Wallace has come over from the 22 to change tires for Mark. So they had the pit road speeding penalty, which hurt, and the kidney stone, which hurt a lot more.
Man, oh man, that is painful. I've had it.
I have too, Bob. There's nothing that can be more painful.
That is right. Don't know about childbirth. We'll never know about that, Ned. But
no, even I won't.
I don't want to have anything more painful than a kidney stone.
Now, Tony Stewart, as these tires start wearing and get hotter and hotter, he's starting to struggle on the bottom of the racetrack. If he could get clear of these cars, he probably would move up and see how that line would work. But right now, where he wants to go, there's someone already there.
Stewart runs right on the bottom of the racetrack. He is back in 16th position, so he is almost up to where he was before that caution period, during which he picked up some positions on pit road, but then lost all of them because of the speeding penalty. Here he is to the inside of Ricky Rudd and goes to 15th. And now we'll race side by side with Dale Earnhardt to the line.
Rudd's going to help him. The drafting here plays a part at Michigan, so that helps him to pick up some more speed down the straightaway. But here comes Earnhardt back up on the outside.
And Ricky Rudd is not able to keep his car on the bottom of the racetrack like Tony Stewart. So Earnhardt comes back on Rudd. And who is that in the middle? Is that Jeffrey Bodine? Yes. And the 58 car Hutz Strickland once again. And that's something you don't want to see in a NASCAR Winston Cup race. A car with nothing on the side of it.
Yeah.
They're doing very well not having a major sponsor.
What did Lee Trevino say? There's a couple of things don't last long. One is pros that putt for par. Another one is it doesn't last long as a race car with no writing on the side of it.
Jeff Gordon led 20 laps here in June. He is now leading his 36th lap in the August Pepsi 400.
Available at GEX in Hampton and Newport News.
Okay, Bobby, what do you want for dinner?
I want pizza. No, wait. I want chicken. No, I want broccoli.
You want broccoli.
No, I want cherry cobbler.
Now at Golden Corral, your kids can have just about anything they can imagine for just $2.99.
I want mashed potatoes.
Really?
With gummy bears.
Even if it is a little odd.
People think I live a pampered life, but I work hard to keep up my business. For example, no matter how late I was out the night before or how much I want to hit that snooze button, I always manage to wake up first thing in the morning and catch that 11 a.m. Sports Center.
Powering up. He got it. 3 homers in 3 days of tornado tactics to start the season.
It's not easy, but it's all about commitment.
We're 11 laps away from the halfway point of the Pepsi 400. 89 laps in the book right now. There's the interval between first and second. Jeff Gordon, followed by Bobby Labonte, with Jeff Burton back in third, then Dale Jarrett, and fifth place is Bill Elliott, having a very good run here today in the McDonald's Ford. Let's jump on board the McDonald's onboard camera and ride around with Bill.
He's just sort of out there by himself, not too. It's pretty far to the fourth place man and a couple of seconds ahead of the sixth place man. So he's just got himself in a nice position there.
And for a taste of the race, let's check out the State Fair Corn Dogs onboard telemetry.
He comes off turn 2. We see down around the 160-mile-per-hour range. He accelerates down the backstretch. The flags are not blowing today, but I think we'll still see that the front stretch will have a little more speed than the backstretch. Did I see 194?
Yep, that's what I saw.
Sorry, Ned. The front stretch is longer than the back stretch, and that allows them to get more speed.
So this should be the fastest part of the racetrack coming up. About 198, I believe I saw. On board with Rusty Wallace, looking back on Tony Stewart.
Those cars are 11th and 12th.
Right behind Tony is Jeremy Mayfield, Rusty's teammate. And his onboard telemetry also.
What's the RPMs? 83, 84, 85, 8600. It's down the backstretch. Once again, should turn a couple hundred RPMs more down the front and a little bit more speed. Oh, man.
Ricky Craven with an unscheduled pit stop, changing all 4 tires on that. There was a flat left front, we understand.
And they're having trouble getting the jack under the car. Finally, they get it under. They're able to lift it up enough to get it under.
Midwest Transit, sponsor on that car. And that's too bad. He had a good run going. As a matter of fact, he had come in and topped off with fuel at the end of the last caution, so he should have been able to go a few more laps than the others.
And as we near the halfway point, we also near the time when we'll see more pit stops. The crews are getting set for the second round of pit stops here. They're the top 5. We are less than 7 away from the crossed flags indicating halfway.
America's newest tire store has just the tires for you, and just the battery, and shocks, and brakes for your Ford, Mercury, or Lincoln. One-stop service with factory-trained technicians and competitive prices. Now get a Motorcraft-tested tough battery for $59.95. Quality care service, the right people, the right parts, and always the right prices at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
The Outlaw Octane Booster.
Now with Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s personal seal of approval.
Coming in, guys. Look, Bill's in trouble. Don't worry, Bill. We'll take it from here. Go, 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 Bill! Here!
Where can you always find a fast and friendly drive-thru crew? Did somebody say McDonald's?
So I'm on ESPN.com checking out my sports fantasy leagues. I'll go in a chat room and I'll meet people. People do trash talk in the chat room. I told somebody I was from Boston and they started in with Buckner this and Buckner that. I just wanted to say, hey, you know, those who have not committed errors, you throw the first stones, okay? If not, leave the man alone and leave me alone and let it go. Let it go.
As you rejoin us for the Pepsi 400 here at Michigan Speedway, you will observe that we have had another lead change while you were gone.
What is it about every time we go to commercial break, there's a lead change?
That's our 7th lead change of the afternoon. We have had 5 different drivers at the front of the field. Bobby Labonte just led his 15th lap up front.
And his brother Terry just went a lap down as we take a look at how that pass happened.
Going down in turn 1. Now, Bobby Labonte has started running the bottom of the racetrack the last, 10 or 15 laps, and looks like he's really making some headway down there.
Moving through some traffic, that's Rich Bickle, who also goes a lap down in 34th position. More from Jerry Punch.
Hey, Benny, I think probably the groove had something to do with it, but also the fact that about 4 laps ago they told Bobby Labonte that he was just a handful of laps away from the halfway money. That may have been the biggest boost for him to be able to make that move.
$10,000 from Gatorade, that's pretty big money. And just 2 more laps and he'll collect.
Yep, less than 2 laps and the money will be handed out unless we go caution. Well, here's Tony Stewart once again fighting through the traffic. He just took over the 11th position, now ahead of both Rusty Wallace and Jeremy Mayfield.
And Mark Martin, he has moved all the way up to 7th position.
Wow.
But the only problem is he's not quite a half a lap behind the leader. But, he has really come through the field.
Now, these 2 cars, Tony Stewart and Mark Martin, both these guys now need a caution flag because they have fast race cars, but they need that caution flag to help catch them back up.
Well, is Bobby Labonte going to collect that money, or does Jeff Gordon want it?
Well, Jeff Gordon's building a new house. He might need that money more than Bobby Labonte.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's hard to imagine with all he's won in the last several years.
Well, let's see who gets it. They're approaching turn number 3, and this time around, we will see the halfway mark.
Gordon moves up, and Bobby Labonte moves down. And that's where his car has been working. He's going to get it.
Yes, indeed, Bobby Labonte will pick up the 10 grand. Bobby has led in every super speedway race in 1999.
Bickle's 10-10 345 car was lapped just a couple of laps ago, so he's now chosen to come in the pits and make a pit stop and put on the 4 fresh tires. And some of these cars are getting close on fuel. The 41 car, here comes Dale Earnhardt down pit road. I didn't know what happened to David Green. He ran out of fuel the last time. John Kernan.
Dale Earnhardt's crew getting ready to do a 4-tire change. They will also make a chassis adjustment as Jeff Gordon woes down, makes his entrance on the pit road. Coming around to the left side. Remember, Earnhardt's car was very tight, pushing in the turn, so they're trying to loosen it up. Dale Jarrett, the Winston Cup point leader, on pit road, as is Bill Elliott. The work is done for Dale Earnhardt and down to Bill Weber.
4 tires and fuel only for Jeff Gordon. Will tear away the shield on the windshield, so Gordon will have a better view. Just a little tight off. Other than that, no major problems, with the exception that Gordon is having a lot of difficulty hearing Ray Evernham with the cars on the backstretch. Gordon is away. Dale Jarrett is getting 4 tires also. An air pressure adjustment on the right rear and the left rear, and a round to fight out. Jarrett's away. Bobby Labonte is headed down pit road as well.
Bobby Labonte coming down to you, Doc.
4,200 RPMs. That translates to 55 miles per hour for the Interstate Batteries Pontiac, a brand new car that debuted at the Brickyard 400 and ran a gallant effort only to finish second to Dale Jarrett. Bobby Labonte has said no changes. The car is exactly as I like it. Jeff Burton getting 4 tires on the Excise board. Back to Bobby Labonte on down the left side of the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. Left side tires getting it full of fuel. Burton is out. Labonte is out. Let's go to John Kernan.
Jimmy Spencer in for a 4-tire change. What's going on? They've made an air pressure adjustment in the right front, trying to loosen it up just a little bit. Phil Weber.
Rusty Wallet and his teammate Jeremy Mayfield pitted at the same time. It's 4 tires and fuel for Wallace. Magic number for him. He got to lap 102. They've had fuel mileage protocol here. Rusty's away. Now Mark Martin will begin the trek down pit road. And you know his story. Good pit stop, 18.11 seconds on the last stop. However, he was penalized to the longest, into the longest line for exiting pit road too fast. They have a new front tire changer this time. They've made the replacement. Mark wanted no changes on the car, so we'll get 4 tires and fuel. They cleaned the windshield. By the way, the team very, very upset about that pit road speeding penalty. They claim they came out in the pack. There was no way they could have sped down pit road. Mark smokes the tires, but I guarantee you he'll watch the tack. 16.6 seconds. Great stop for the 6 bunch.
Tony Stewart had taken the lead, but now he's coming into the pits, John Kernan.
Tony Stewart being counted down 5. Now he sees the sign, pulls over into his pit stop. The crew will go to work. Earlier, their first pit stop, 15.6 seconds. It'll be a 4-tire change, fill it up with fuel. They'll also pull off the tearaway on the windshield, even the clear view out the windshield. They have made no chassis adjustments and also no adjustments in air pressure. Tony really happy with the car, and he's gathered away. To Jerry Punch.
Let me show you the left rear tire that just came off of Bobby Labonte's Interstate Batteries Pontiac. As you take a look here, you'll see these bubbles on the left rear tire. And the crew now are talking about, basically, this is where they had the impact with Ward Burton. Remember the spin earlier when Ward Burton's car came around? It actually rubbed the left rear. And they're thinking that's what actually caused part of this bubbling up on the side of the tire. It is not a defect in the Goodyear tire. And all the other tires that have come off Bobby Labonte's car look fine. But, man, I'm not sure how much further he would have been able to go. It was really starting to bubble up all the way around.
Well, pit stops continue to be made here, and we'll tell you how everybody has come onto the racetrack, what order they're running in when we return.
You have your weekend projects. We have ours.
Crew set. Everybody's ready. Let's go.
Here it goes. Let's hit it.
Rock your way to the fastest finish.
You're good. You're fast. After lunch, we'll do the other side of the street.
Make sure you've got genuine sheetrock. USG Sheetrock brand products. Official marketing partner of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Napa application engineered brakes can stop you 20 feet shorter than ordinary brakes. That's important. Because you can't always count on there being 20 extra feet of road when you need it. Napa, over 200,000 parts, and every one's important.
You make a car from the ground up with a lot of blood, a lot of sweat, and a lot of love.
And the crew works so hard day and night. They do everything, and then they put you out there.
Each car has a personality. You got to get a feel for them.
It's the Test Track Series, celebrating the unsung workhorses that race the test track like only Hot Wheels does. Limited quantities while supplies last.
When you can go through a corner as fast as you feel the car can possibly go through that corner, you're right on the edge.
Hot Wheels Racing. Feel it.
Welcome back to ESPN's live coverage of the Pepsi 400 from Michigan. You don't have to wait long for more NASCAR Winston Cup racing. We'll have the Run for the Bud Pole qualifying from Bristol Friday evening at 5 o'clock Eastern Time on the Deuce. RPM tonight's at 6:30, and then the Food City 250 for the Busch Series at 7 o'clock next Friday night. Saturday, NASCAR Today will be at 7. The Goodies Headache Powder 500 from the high banks of Bristol at 7:30. And RPM Tonight will wrap it up at midnight next Saturday. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. During the pit stops, Wally Dallenbach, Robert Presley, and Tony Stewart all led a lap, but the pit stops have been completed, and now Jeff Gordon is back at the front of the field with Bobby Labonte running second, Dale Jarrett third, Jeff Burton fourth, and Terry Labonte running in fifth position.
Ever since Mobil 1 came along, other oil companies have tried to copy it to make a synthetic of their own. But if you take a look at how a copycat performs after some hard miles and compare it to new Mobil 1, it's obvious that all synthetics aren't alike. Today's Mobil 1 is tri-synthetic. It won't sludge up on you. It'll actually make your engine run smoother. The other stuff, not in my car.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
It's a dead heat coming out of the turn. Martin spots an opening and roars through it. Mark Martin takes it wide, very wide. He's leaving the track.
Hardee's new All-Star Bacon Cheeseburger. A big, juicy bacon cheeseburger loaded with everything. A favorite of Mark Martin of the Hardee's All-Star Racing Team.
Martin is through the gate and back on the track.
The All-Star Bacon Cheeseburger. Only at Hardee's.
What I was trying to do here was capture the hopelessness of modern life. There's no vases, no fruit. It's just quiet. It's permanent, but yet expansive. It's the same here as it is from here. In fact, it's me.
You ran out of paint and the art store wouldn't take a check again, right?
Right.
Consider the Visa check card instead of checks, or cash. It's fast, easy, and accepted everywhere Visa is, so you can get what you need.
What I was trying to do here
and get on with life.
Well, some days, I'm not a foreman, I'm a circus juggler. I got product coming off the lines, warehouses filling up. I got deliveries, I got to move off the dock. Sometimes things get a little crazy. I need an extra fork, maybe a lift will go down. I call Nations Rent. Whatever I need, whenever I need it, they bring it out. Newer stuff, names I know. Nothing over a few years old. So it works. And it's one less ball I got to keep in the air. They make it happen for me.
Nations Rent. 1-800-NO-SWEAT.
Jeff Gordon is out front, and he is lapping cars as he comes down the tri-oval. And the 94 car of Bill Elliott, who's been in the top 10 virtually all race long, has made an unscheduled pit stop. He's now rolling back out on the racetrack.
Change the left side tires. I think that's what you were about to say, Benny. We saw what happened when McDonald's Ford came in.
And the 12 car is also reporting a problem on the radio. He is running in the 7th position. He and Chad Little are trying to decide who will run there. Could possibly be a result of the pit stop that occurred just a few minutes ago. Watch the left front.
Okay, the left sides are going on. Left rear is on. Left front's on. They start to tighten the lug nuts. The jack man stands up, lets the car down. As the car leaves, the left front, the tire guy changing the left front looks at the jack man and says, that's the jack man, says, hey man, I wasn't finished yet. And he just hangs his head. Oh no,
he's coming down, Jerry.
Exactly. What a tough break for Jeremy Mayfield, who was running in the top 10. He said as soon as he left pit road that there was a vibration in the car, and Peter Suspenzo told the driver, no bones about it, we think the left front may be loose. If the vibration gets any worse at all, you're going to have to pit. And, of course, Jeremy said we need to come in now. So they're going to go ahead and come back down pit road and change all 4 tires. And this is the killer of this green flag pit stop. But they will be very, very deliberate and get all lug nuts tight on the left front and the left rear. He is down and away in about 7.5 seconds.
But he will be a lap down. And that's too bad. And, Bob, when we were going to break a moment ago, we saw Terry Labonte's picture up there that he was running in 5th place. And the fans wondered, well, we thought he got lapped. He did early on, but he was still out there when we went to break, had not made that green flag pit stop. He has since made a green flag pit stop, and he is a lap down now.
Yeah, he was off sequence, but now drops back to 36th position. And look at this, a couple of laps to go.
Oh, man, that's the 17 car of Matt Kenseth on the outside, and Dave Marcus almost getting together off that corner. A crash narrowly avoided.
Marcus 2 laps down in 37. Matt Kenseth is still on the lead lap in 19th. And here's the 4 car of Bobby Hamilton, which is running in 20th position. And there is Kenseth. So the leader, Jeff Gordon, is coming up to try to lap these 2 drivers.
Matt Kenseth and Dale Earnhardt Jr., 2 of the heralded rookies in the year 2000 for the running for the Rebestos Rookie of the Year award.
Dale Jarrett now begins to close in on the
good lap time.
Bobby Labonte.
3.5.
Bob, he was over 6.5 seconds behind Jeff Gordon after the pit stop. He now is 3.6 seconds behind. So the adjustment they made must have helped his forward.
And one problem that Jeff Gordon, the leader, is having right now is lap traffic. We saw him just a moment ago. Here he is. We're in the middle of this lap traffic, and all these guys right now are racing him very, very hard because they do not want to go a lap down. We see Matt Kenseth and Bobby Hamilton. They realize as soon as that 24 car goes by, they could be in trouble, and so they're trying to stay out there at all costs, which leaves Jeff Gordon running around the racetrack about 2 miles per hour slower than he's really capable of running.
Yeah, that's a good point, Danny. Those cars are running in the 19th and 20th position. Kenseth's in 19th, and Bobby Hamilton is in 20th position. And like you say, they want to stay on the lead lap. Here's Joe Nemechek. He has already gone a lap down to the leaders.
And now Dale Jarrett also passing by. Be interesting to see where Joe Nemechek ends up next year, because he did, as I indicated early, indicate that he was not going to be back with the Felix Sabates team in the year 2000.
I would just guess where he's got a resume in, but, you know, what would I know?
On board with Bill Elliott, whose unscheduled pit stop has now put him a lap down back in 32nd position.
Well, a very disappointed drive-through crew in the McDonald's pit. Bill Elliott radioed in that the car had a bad vibration. He just radioed right a moment ago that he's going to come back down pit road, but he came in with that vibration and he thought he had a loose lug nut on the left side. But the crew said all the lugs on the left were tight, and Elliott went back out. He was out there about half a lap and said, it must be the rights. I'm going to stay out as long as I can, but it's gotten too worse. Bill Elliott will come back down pit road. He'll go around to the right side and check the right side lug nuts. Now Elliott begins the long run down pit road as the 18 goes around the 24.
Jeff must have got caught behind some slower traffic, and Bobby Labonte just shot through on the inside and took the lead again.
Well, I'm sorry, Nate, go ahead.
Jeff Gordon had already passed Bobby Hamilton there a little bit ago. Now Hamilton has gotten back around him as well. So it could be that he got caught up in traffic. I wasn't looking directly at it when it happened, but nevertheless, Bobby Labonte has taken the lead.
Yes, indeed. Let's watch what happened on the replay. Yeah, there is Gordon around Hamilton, or almost.
He's trying to pull that slide job like I talked about before, but Hamilton, once again, he's not wanting to go a lap down, so he squeezes that between Jeff Gordon and the wall, which causes Jeff to back out of the gas, and when he does, loses that momentum, bam, Bobby Labonte just shoots by.
Jeff still has led the most laps, 57, but now with Bobby Labonte back in the lead, he is leading for the 22nd lap of the 121 that have been completed so far.
We brought you the compact pickup ranked best in initial quality. The next Neon with a lot more to love and sophisticated technology you can afford. Now, here's what's new for the new Dodge. The Dodge Summer Clearance with exceptionally low lease rates, generous cash allowances on select models, or extremely low financing. What's new from the new Dodge? Just catch the Dodge Summer Clearance.
Once there was a car. This car needed help. Help with brakes, help with shocks, and help with the muffler. The car owner was perplexed. Where can I take my troubled vehicle to have all these ailments properly mended? And then the voice, it came to her.
Take your car to the King. Brake King, 74th and Jefferson, Newport News.
And she followed the advice of the voice, and her car was made better, and she was pleased with her car, and all was right with the world.
What does it take to be a pole position driver? Passion, courage, and the confidence to be photographed in the winner's circle knowing you have helmet hair.
Kart racing, today at 4 on ABC.
Get ready for 17 weeks and 18 games of rock'em sock'em football under the lights.
Man, I can't wait for fall.
Why is that? Football season?
No, it's a summer heat. It's murder when you don't have sweat glands.
ESPN Sunday Night Football. The season begins September 12th.
They say that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. They say that a lot about the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Because racing just doesn't get any tougher than this. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
125 laps completed at the Pepsi 400 at Michigan Speedway. Bobby Labonte is the leader by about a half second over Jeff Gordon, with Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, and John Andretti in the top 5.
He still hasn't been able to put the 4-car of Bobby Hamilton, the Kodak Film Chevrolet, a lap down. As a matter of fact, now he just pulls in behind him. Hamilton is hanging tough.
Yes, he is. And Matt Kenseth, who was in that picture a little bit ago, he's driven off from him.
Yeah. While they've been battling, Matt's just driven off. There he is. There's a bit of racetrack between himself and Bobby Hamilton.
And there comes Dale Jarrett right up behind Jeff Gordon. So we're going to have these first 3 cars almost no failure in about a half a lap.
And then he looked up ahead and saw Labonte and Gordon fighting all of that traffic, and that was, hey, I like that. Let me catch up. He says to pass the same cars, but if they get by before he gets there, then they'll already be that lap down, so it shouldn't be as hard for him to pass them as it has been for Labonte and Gordon.
Here's the Bud Race recap. Bobby Labonte has led 26 of the first 126. 12 lead changes, 2 caution periods totaling 10 laps. They're averaging a little more than 154 miles an hour. Those who have led a lap include the following. Wally Dallenbach led as pit stops were being made, and so did Robert Presley. Tony Stewart. Ward Burton, the pole sitter, led the opening lap, and that was it. And you will see as we go to the cars that are off the track, only one, Ted Musgrave, and the only car officially out of the race is Burton, who crashed up in turn number 3. And they're still trying to put Bobby Hamilton a lap down.
I talked about the 88 cars. As a matter of fact, the 99 cars also just about caught up with this group. He's only about a second and a half by now. They're going to go 3. What? No. There we see Jeff Burton right behind.
And here comes Jarrett closing in, and also Jeff Burton.
And the battle for the lead as the Circuit City onboard camera watches that 24 DuPont Chevrolet drive by.
Up on the outside. Steve Park. Steve, don't stick it up in between them. Oh, he knows better. He's going to follow Gordon.
There's on the right side Dale Jarrett and Jeff Burton. More from Bill Weber.
Well, after that last pit stop, I talked to Gordon's crew chief Ray Evernham about the right rear tire wear, and he says it is still there. He can still see signs of it. He still believes it will get better in the final. One car on the wall now. Car on the wall.
It's the 77 car of Robert Presley sliding on the grass inside of turn number 4 to bring out another caution period, our 3rd of the day. Pretty heavy damage there to the left front of the race car.
But it isn't that left side pancake.
And the 4-car and the 1-car of Steve Park passed Jeff Gordon when he slowed down, so those guys are going to get back on the lead lap. They fought hard and worked for him.
It worked for him. Good way to go, guys.
And we see Robert Presley driving his car down on the pit road, so he's okay.
This is really the break that Mark Martin, one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. This is a break he needed. He was about 20 seconds behind the leaders. Now he'll be right back up there with them.
What happened to Robert Presley at the top right side of your frame? There's Robert impacting the wall.
It was coming off turn 4. Wasn't too far behind the leaders. And shoots back down in between some traffic.
Wow.
Down the grass area.
Only one car involved. Let's check Bill Elliott's on McDonald's onboard and see if we have any idea what might have happened. All happens in front of him, we can't tell.
But he comes down between Joe Nemechek and Bill Elliott. Looked like he may have been running by himself up there where the incident occurred. Well, pace car is now leading the field. As on the 131st lap, we should see some pit stops now.
You know, it looked to me like that some of the lead cars were a little squirrely coming off of turn 4 that time. I wonder if there was a slick spot up on that racetrack.
Now, they're holding the 25 and the 1 car and not allowing those cars to get their lap back. That's Wally Dallenbach and Steve Park. NASCAR now makes judgment calls, and if these cars are not in contact with the leader, when the caution flag comes out, they don't allow them to race back. If you're in contact, if you're only a car length or 2 behind the leaders, then you can, but they, I guess, are figuring that Steve Park, I would have thought he'd been close enough, but...
Well, Bobby Hamilton was. He did get his lap back. Yes. Now on board the Pontiac pace car as we look back to Jeff Gordon. Should be seeing Jeff go to the left here momentarily and head down pit road.
And one good thing about this, with 70 laps to go, I don't think this is going to be a fuel mileage race and a car will be able to go the rest of the way from here.
No, they can't go that far.
Come the top 4, then Mark Martin, John Andretti, Tony Stewart, Chad Little, Jimmy Spencer, down to Bill Weber.
Gordon's been very unhappy with his car. He said, I'm not sure if it's the track or the tires. Well, Ray's obviously going to change 4 tires. He's also going to change the air pressure. Half a round out of the right rear in the wedge compartment. The car is loose in. It rolls over in the middle. It's okay off to Jerry Punch.
Chevrolet, Pontiac, Ford. That's the stack in the box there. Gordon, Labonte, Jarrett. Jarrett is out. Gordon is out. Labonte, an air pressure change in the right front. He is down and away. But looks like the battle back down to the end of pit road. Gordon will be out, but Labonte may have had the best, or did have the best pit stop of the 3, 15.8 seconds. Let's go up to John Kernan.
Tony Stewart, a 4 tire change in fuel. The only adjustment in the air pressure, they went down about a half a pound on all 4 tires. But other than that, Tony says he likes the way the car feels. And right before they made the pit stop, Greg Zipadelli, his crew chief, told the crew, said, hey, this is what we needed to catch us up with the guys at the front. But they will have to make one more pit stop, as will everybody else, unless somebody's got one of those Darrell Waltrip kind of fuel cells.
69 laps to go. They definitely will have to have one more pit stop. Okay, while we're under caution, a break, and we'll be back with more live coverage from Michigan in a moment.
You think you drive hard? Yeah, well, we all have our dreams. This is hard driving. Number 24, Jeff Gordon. He takes a 700 horsepower machine and drives it like a rental. All he does is win.
Jeff Gordon wins the Frontier at the Glen.
Hey, and in the engine, Quaker State Ultra Premium. As in ultimate engine protection. You know the stuff. And so does Jeff's competition. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
We're going to do it again, I hope.
America's newest tire store has just the tires for you, and just the battery, and shocks, and brakes for your Ford, Mercury, or Lincoln. One-stop service with factory-trained technicians and competitive prices. Now get shocks for your car for $69 or less per pair installed. Quality care service, the right people, the right parts, and always the right prices at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
Hey, Mark, thanks to you now, everything's .com, you know? Beachballs.com, arugulasalad.com. I mean, .com on.
Oh, here we go again.
Hey, .com, Padre. We both like Miller Lite for the same reason. It tastes great. Un.commonly so.
You know I like it because it's so smooth.
Ooh, I guess we're in .compatible, right?
Not if you lose the lane .comedy.
Hey, that's a good .com back.
Miller Lite. Taste a true Pilsner.
.com here often?
You have real chocolate malts.
Oh, yeah. Shakes, too.
There's a difference?
You bet there is.
He's right. We make old-fashioned malt with a taste you will never forget. And you can try one, or a classic shake with our great-tasting Sonic Burger for a special low price. So?
Thick, Rich, creamy,
Malty.
told you.
Flavor Flash. Try our tasty banana split with real Dole bananas.
Friday night at 8:15 Eastern, tune into ESPN for a special presentation of preseason NFL football between the Atlanta Falcons and the Tennessee Titans. Coverage begins at 7:30 with the NFL Tonight, only on The Deuce. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com.
Pepsi presents a Jeff Gordon moment. At the beginning of the 1991 Busch Grand National season, a young driver named Jeff Gordon was just 19 years old and determined to prove his driving ability to NASCAR competitors and fans alike. And before his Grand National career was over, Gordon had been named 1991 Rookie of the Year, had 3 victories to his credit, 12 poles, and was well on his way to becoming a NASCAR star. Another Jeff Gordon moment.
Gordon is way behind. Stick a fork in Jeff. He's done.
Oh, my! What is he thinking?
Holy Baloo! What the heck is that?
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Well, what could possess a man to drive like that?
Gotcha.
He's making his move backward. Gordon wins.
We gotta get him a cup holder.
Well, I live out here on a little old farm, and we have a few cows. I got a pickup, 2 tractors, a lawnmower, and a little old boat. Got Everstart batteries in every one of them, except my cow. One in that old pickup's been in there over 4 years. Starts right up every morning.
Everstart. All the cold cranking power you'll ever need.
Don't matter if it's 100 degrees or 0 outside. Starts every time.
Everstart. The name says it all.
My advice is to go to Walmart and get you an Everstart. Get on down the road.
Hey! He's in the garage.
Hey! If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base. Specially formulated for stop-and-go driving. This is a home improvement. Enter the Pennzoil Dream Garage Sweepstakes. Get a free Tim Allen Signature Tools utility knack knife and a chance to win a Celine Mustang or enough cash to build your own dream garage. Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
Just as you rejoin us, the cars cross the line, get the green flag, and we go back to racing in the Pepsi 400. Jeff Gordon leads Bobby Labonte, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, and Tony Stewart.
Now, Steve parked the Pennzoil car on the inside. He's going to circle, trying to get his lap back now. These cars have 4 fresh tires. Man, what a mess, Ned.
Yeah, you get these cars all bunched up together, and you have a mess.
Tony Stewart went high, low, and here we go. Dale Jarrett on the inside. He goes by Park. He don't even go by Jeff Gordon.
What happened? The one car, Steve Parker, went in very hard and carried Jeff Gordon up a little bit higher than he wanted to be. That allowed Jarrett to go by on the inside.
Just sit back, watch, and listen with us. Once again.
It's okay to talk now. And guess who's in third spot? Tony Stewart. That Home Depot Pontiac gets by his teammate, gets by Labonte, and sends off back to the front 2.
Martin in the middle of that pack. He is currently in 10th position. That is Dick Trickle over on the right side of him. There's Little Lee, Dale Earnhardt Jr. up ahead also. Earnhardt is a lap down in 24th position. Earnhardt Jr., that is. His father, Dale Sr., is running 6th.
Mark Martin now moves back to the 11th position.
Bill Elliott also right in the middle of this scramble down the backstretch. Bill is 2 laps down now, 35th position, and Tony Stewart wants 2nd as he comes to the inside of Dale Jarrett.
And he's got his teammate Bobby Labonte there pushing him right along. Those 2 Pontiacs teamed up together, and both of them have been running very fast all day anyway.
The last Pontiac to win here was 10 years ago when Rusty Wallace won the Pepsi 400.
Almost a contact there between DJ and Bobby Labonte. And DJ, once again, we saw Jeff Gordon do it a few laps ago, had to back off that gas and look at a run that Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt gets on him.
Earnhardt to the bottom side of the racetrack. They make it 3 wide coming out of 4.
And here goes Earnhardt driving to the inside.
Is 3rd.
Wow.
Chad Little having a good run, been in the top 10 almost all race. He's now 7th, battling with Labonte.
And Jeff Burton.
Caution south for that medal down here in 1. Caution south.
Here gets a medal in turn 1.
The 20 car was about to make a run on Jeff Gordon, and that, of course, was Tony Stewart, but he'll have to wait till after they rerun again.
Yep. Now then, the question prize to be asked, can someone run 60 laps on fuel?
Right. I don't know. I don't think so.
60 to go right now. They will, I guess, be able to open the pits next lap. Down to Jerry Punch.
We've been doing sort of an informal survey, which began about 6:30 this morning in the garage area. How far could you go if you had to go on fuel? And the undisputed winner of my survey was the 18 car, and they just confirmed it to me a moment ago. They could go, if they could come in on lap 143 and top off, they could go the rest of the way, and no one else is within a lap of them on fuel, according to my calculations this morning. Going again, I hope they were all telling the truth.
Wow.
Yeah, that would really be stretching it.
So the caution is out once again for the 4th time this afternoon, this time for a piece of metal down in turn number 1. It's Gordon, Stewart, Earnhardt, Jarrett, and Burton.
So, you want to drive for Budweiser. How about being a NASCAR driver?
Hey, that's me.
A top fuel driver.
That's me.
A champ car driver.
Hey, that's me.
Well, then, how about being a designated driver?
Everybody can do that.
Budweiser reminds you that the designated driver always ends up in victory lane.
This is the Firebird Trans Am. And it's very hungry. The muscle car lives. Firebird Trans Am by Pontiac.
Choosing a personal watercraft can be a real test, but Rusty Wallace knows just what he wants. Polaris, when you know what you want. See your local dealer for big savings on select models.
ESPN's live coverage of the Pepsi 400 from Michigan Speedway being brought to you by Daytona USA, the official attraction of NASCAR. By the White Track Pontiac Grand Prix, wider is better. And by Polaris Watercraft, ride the best. Caution is still out here. We've got at least one more lap until green. Time enough to get in another quick commercial break so we can bring you the green flag action from Michigan.
It doesn't matter how it shatters.
Who repairs it does. You do have a choice. Call or request Precision Glass today. Does this rock chip in your windshield look familiar? Have it repaired by Precision Glass and Mirror. Most insurance companies will even waive your deductible. So call Precision Glass and Mirror today, before it spreads.
Century Food Mart is your one stop for all the convenience store items you need. This week at Century, you'll get this deal.
Great beer deals are yours at Century, including Busch Beer in the big 12-pack of 12-ounce cans for only $4.99.
And remember to fill up with Citgo gasoline at most Centuries. Citgo, when it counts. Come on into Century.
If I had one of those